Now I'll leave you with lifestyle session, and Angie will be taking you through that session with her details on, it could be a tip on how to make your house look good, it could be a tip on how to look good at work, it could be a tip on anything that she feels is important in your life. Stay with us for more details and an update on the information that I just gave you.
In our interior design tips of the day, we're going to talk about how to avoid certain interior design mistakes. As for today, we're specifically going to talk about the bad lighting. Bad lighting is equivalent to bad decoration. This at all times should come first, and it's a big one. Sometimes we do leave the lighting behind as an afterthought, but it should be considered as the first thing when planning a home. Reason being, lighting creates such a difference. Bad lighting makes the room look like, ew, I don't even know how to explain it, but the proper lighting transforms a space. The trick behind here is to always layer your lighting. I'm not talking about you piling it up, no. This is how you're supposed to do it. Have lots of different light sources that have different purposes. If you're not getting it, let me break it down for you. Number 1, start with the natural light. Make most out of it in the room and try using the mirrors to bounce the light around the room. Always ensure that you're allowing optimum amount of light coming in, maybe through the doors or through the windows. Number 2, include the main lights. It can be the big one, it can be the middle one, but ensure to have the least amount of shadow spaces. Don't just add any main lighting. Think of how they are placed. Thirdly, task lighting. Task lighting is the lighting that allows you to carry out tasks, maybe like on your desk lamp, for your workspace, so as to see what you're reading. Have some pendant lights above the kitchen island when you're preparing food. Number 4, when all essentials are done, now it's time to add a little bit of romance, a little bit of a soft touch. The only way you can do this in your room is when you have ambient lighting. You can have floor lamps for the reading corner, the wall lights above the sofa, the table lamp on the side table. Then you can add some other decorations to have a cozy finishing in the room. And lastly for today, add decorative lighting. You can have like the fairy lights in the children's room, some candles, some small lamps, and also the fancy LED stripe light. Comes to our fashion tips, let me give you the do's and don'ts when it comes to suits. Earlier this week I came out and told you how a proper suit should be. The measurements, the fabric, and that any gentleman or any man should always have a suit in his wardrobe. But today, I'm going to tell you about the do's and don'ts when it comes to suits. Number 1, always unfasten the buttons when sitting down. It is a must unless you really want to spoil your suit or make it look like a stuffed potato. And most people tend to forget this. Secondly, when you're wearing a dark suit, always put in what they call a light pocket square, and vice versa. Meaning, if you're putting on a dark suit, have a light pocket square. When you're putting on a light suit, make sure at least you have a dark pocket square, and make sure it is well ironed. Thirdly, focus on the jacket. Once you can easily slip your hand between the chest and the buttoned up jacket, then it's alright. The other thing you should do is that the last button should always be open. Don't bother with the last button, keep it open. The button is purely for authentic purposes. And for those that don't know about the overcoats can accentuate the corporate look. Don't go overboard when it comes to accessories. Let the suit do the talking. If you're trying to look sophisticated and clean, less is indeed more when you're dressing up. Shoes should always complement the color of the suit. Sometimes a little match or mix is fine, but resist from having too much color contrast. The shoulders of any suit should always hang on the shoulders.